Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fine Leg to Fine Leg podcast. We're here with episode number 5, and today we're doing a 100 draft. We are picking players from each categories as if the 100 would be going ahead this summer. I don't think it will. I hope it does.
Not.
It's not. It's just not. It'll be postponed. It's been postponed. I know it's been postponed.
We're not doing it entirely normally. We've only gone for overseas players, and we're not having a central contracted player either.
Yeah, so we've just decided just to think about overseas players rather than think about England's rather than include English players because they're often local heroes and things like that for the 100. So there's no real need to have them in this. So if we get started with the 125k category, you choose one, I'll choose one, and you can choose players from lower categories and sign them up for bigger fees if you want.
Okay.
Who have you got?
Right, I'm going to start with Rashid Khan.
125k?
In the 100, he's in the 100 category, but I'm picking him in my 125. I think he's absolutely.
We know how highly you rate him. Yeah, you rate him really highly. My first one, I've chosen KG Rabada.
Oh.
You know how highly I rate him. That was in my popular opinions. There is no Pat Cummins in there, so you can't argue that he's probably the best.
He didn't actually get drafted.
No, he didn't. So I've got Rabada. Your second 100 pick?
I've got Andre Russell. Again, bringing up from the 100 category, but he's gone. I think he might have been the first pick overall. He's absolute gun. I love him. Just lots of runs, and maybe he'll bowl one over sort of thing.
I've brought him up from the 100 category. I brought Kane Williamson up.
Ooh, okay, that's a good shout.
I think that's what Birmingham Phoenix might have done in real life. I think they brought up Kane Williamson because I think it's a bit harsh putting one of the best batsmen in the world in the 100 category. I think he's outstanding, so I brought him up just to bag him. Right, 100k. Who have you gone for?
I've gone for Quinton de Kock. He's going to be my keeper.
He was my reserve for my 125 category, actually.
Yeah, needed a keeper, but also he's a really good batsman. I'll
tell you what. I'm going to spoil it. I won't tell you where, but I brought up my keeper a couple of categories because I think he's been put so low. I brought him up a few categories. But my first 100k pick, I've got Trent Boult.
Oh, very good.
Again, very harsh not to put him in the 125k category. Brilliant bowler. I brought Trent Boult up.
Yeah, but then does he have the nerve? I mean, in the final, he needed to defend 15, failed. Didn't bowl a great super over.
Yeah, but I would have Rabada. I would have Rabada bowl in my death bowling.
Okay. Right, good. In my 75k category, I've got a South Africa.
No, you've got another 100k. You've got another 100k.
Oh, I've got another 100k. Yeah. I've gone for Aaron Finch there.
Ooh,
bit of explosive
Australian.
I'd love to pair him with Jason Roy like they do at Surrey, but fortunately no English players. But yeah, didn't have the best of World Cups. Played well against us in the first game though, and I think he's a really gun player. Also, probably he would be my captain in this team as well.
Ooh, actually, I was gonna say I haven't thought about a captain. I realised I've got Kane Williamson. There's absolutely no problem there. My other 100k pick, I've gone for Faf du Plessis. He was probably the only South African, along with Rabada and maybe de Kock, that merited themselves well in that World Cup.
Yeah, really. I agree with that.
South Africa had a really poor World Cup, but I thought Faf, he batted quite well overall. I thought, and he deserved the 100 he got in the last game that they played.
Yeah, definitely.
75k. Who's your pick?
I've gone for Dale Steyn.
Ooh,
absolute gas. He'd probably only be around for one more season. Not sure if he'll make it next year, but definitely this year. Absolute gun bowling, real heat.
Looks like I'll have to snap up my reserve for that category then, because I had Dale Steyn, but you've missed out because I picked Babar Azam. Number one 2020 batsman in the world.
Azam he didn't quite make it into my side. I have him written down there.
I've snapped up Babar Azam. I think he's cracking. Obviously he featured in the first week of Cover Drives of the Week, but I think he's cracking. So your second 75k pick?
I've gone for Hetmeyer. Brought him up from the
From
40k.
40k. I
But
have
he's
him in my 40k.
unbelievable. He's just, I mean, 40k is just a bare minimum for him. I mean, he's an absolute gun. I mean, he's just going to hit the ball far. That's the aim.
Okay, so for my second 75k pick, I've gone for Dimuth Karunaratne. I think he's fantastic. He's quite young. He didn't have a great
Really
World Cup
good.
opening. He didn't have a great World Cup opening, but I think in the limited overs format, I think shown when England went to Sri Lanka, I think he's cracking. So I've chosen Karunaratne. 60k picks.
60k picks. I've gone for someone who also had a dreadful World Cup. I think you know who it is. It's Martin Guptill. I think, yes, he had a dreadful World Cup, but it doesn't stop him from being a gun player. I think he just hits the ball so hard when he's in form. And, yeah, he'd be a great opening partner, I'd say, for Aaron Finch as well.
Yeah, well, when we went to the T20 games in New Zealand, in the last one, which was shortened to a 13 or 12 over game, he hit his 50 off 19 deliveries.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the quality of the man.
Exactly. I think he hit something like 18 or 19 off Sam Curran's first over. He was having absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Which was very impressive. So my first 60k pick, I've gone for Imran Tahir. I needed a spinner.
Oh, I was thinking of him.
I needed a big celebration when he takes a wicket. Get the crowd going. Start doing laps of the pitch. He's also a quality fielder as well. His caught and bowls can be there was a couple in the World Cup which were outstanding. So and he's a very good leg spinner. So I've
really
Tahir.
I really rate him.
Yeah. Well, he took a wicket at the second ball of the World Cup.
Yeah. I thought, right, this is it over.
That's when the nerves were jangling a bit.
Went, oh, this is over. The World Cup runs down already after 2 balls. For my second 60k pick, it's a bit out there, but I've gone for Chris Morris, the South African all-rounder.
African bowler, yeah.
Yeah, I think he played for the Sydney Thunder in the Big Bash League, and I thought he was really good. I really rated him. He's got good calm bowling, and he's not the best bowler, but you could definitely use him to bowl at least 10, 15 balls. I know it's weird saying that, but
yeah, exactly. Not a couple of overs, but a spell of 5 or 10 balls, depending on how you're feeling.
It's so weird.
But yeah, my second 60k pick, I needed a bit more strength in the middle order. I've gone for Shaun Marsh.
Ah, yes. I'd have gone for some other players in that category. I think he's not the best in a short format. Definitely the long format's where.
No, I think he's class. He didn't play in the World Cup, but I think Shaun Marsh is class. So 50k. Who have you got?
For my 50k pick, I have got Jimmy Neesham.
Oh, to be fair, he was my reserve for 50k.
He can hit a long ball, bowling. I mean, I'm loving my all-rounders in this. He can bowl. He can bowl very well. He's not exceptional, but he can definitely bowl a few overs and keep the runs down, and he can take wickets.
Please don't give me nightmares about his batting.
Oh, and he picked Jofra Archer.
And also his bowling. I think his bowling is pretty underrated. He got Morgan, the first ball that he bowled in the World Cup final.
Yeah, I watched that.
Morgan in the semi-final, that bowling partnership between him and Santner when India didn't score for 20 runs. I thought that was fantastic. 20 balls, there we go. Yeah. And also his fielding. I mean, you just have to look at the catch from against Dinesh Karthik to go, yeah, I'll have you in my field.
Really good.
So, yeah, he's top class. My 50k pick, my first 50k pick, I need a keeper. I brought him up from the 40k. I've got Alex Carey.
Yep. Yeah.
I think he's a proper good finisher. He's a really good keeper. And I think he's gutsy as well. You remember the semi-final? Really he got hit on the chin, kept going. There was blood everywhere, but he kept going, scored 45 or so. So I think he's class. I rate Alex Carey, and I needed a keeper.
I think he's a bit more of a one-day player, but I do rate him. Yeah.
I think he's a good finisher. I think he could score you a solid like 30 off 15 or so, just like hitting the ball kind of well. So I think I've got Alex Carey. Who's your second 50k pick?
I've gone for Darcy Short.
Ooh,
A
Australian batsman.
very good player in my opinion. He's been right at the top of the Big Bash for a few years now. He had to carry the Hobart Hurricanes this year, but also a bit of bowling there. His
Little bit of the old spin.
left arm Chinaman actually took an embarrassingly large amount of wickets. But yeah, I really rate him as a batsman. Just hits a long ball, and even in T20 he has big innings. 75, 100 on a few occasions. Yeah, so he sticks around.
Yeah, I think my second 50k pick. Again, I've gone for another middle order batsman. I've gone for Ross Taylor.
Yeah, one of the best T20 batsmen in the world.
Yeah, I think to put it 50k, I don't know. I think that's quite cheap to snap up such a high quality player. So I'm pleased that I've got Ross Taylor because I think he's cracking. Obviously, he bats really well. He can be explosive. He can anchor an innings if we lose our top order quickly, and then go big. So I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's really good.
So who's your first 40k pick?
Continuing the theme of all-rounders, I've gone for Carlos Brathwaite. Again,
don't give me nightmares again, please.
He can hit a really long ball. He can play the situation quite well. Not entirely shown against New Zealand when he got his 100 and then got out needing 3 runs to go, which was disappointing. But
they needed 6 off 8. Or 6 off 7, and Neesham bowled him the length ball that he wanted. He tempted him, and if it had been on the other side, because the boundary was 2 or 3 meters shorter, that'd have been 6 and they'd won the game. He just didn't quite connect with it, and it was actually a fantastic catch as well.
Yeah, it was. My
first 40k kick, I've gone for Aidan Markram. He'd be my reserve opener, but I still think he can do a job.
Definitely.
So I rate him well, and he's quite young still, and he's still getting better, and he's got good mentality as well. Yeah. I rate the mentality that he has, because he's a gritty cricketer. I like my gritty cricketers.
Yeah.
People who will get a job done. So who's your second 40k pick?
Yeah, but I've gone for Colin de Grandon.
Oh, your favourite.
Oh, no. It's a shame I couldn't pick Liam Plunkett, or else he'd been straight in there, 125k. But yeah, love Colin. He can really hit a long ball, which is really good. But then if you play on a slow wicket, you can always bring him on, and he's just going to get some dot balls, even if you only bowl him for 10, 15 balls. I can't get over this.
You can't say that.
But I reckon he'd be a great bowler to bowl a set of 10 instead of a 5, and just get the momentum back into your favour.
Yeah. Especially if you're slightly sliding away. If you bowl 2 sets of 10 with Colin, just plugging away, trying to restrict runs, I think that'd be worth it. My second 40k, I've gone for another spinner. I think I needed another spinner. I've gone for Mitchell Santner.
Yeah.
Left arm spinner, different option. Really, really good. He's cool headed. He can bat a little bit with the bat, although he's quite defensive. So you probably want him a little bit later on in the team. But I think Mitchell Santner, I think he's quite good. I think he's good.
Yeah. Oh, he's really good. I don't rate his batting that much, but his bowling, he can tie down and end well. But he can also take wickets. Okay, so I'm going to go for Jack Wildermuth. He plays for the Hobart Hurricanes in the Big Bash, and he can just bowl fast. He can bowl 150k pretty consistently. Good line and length. I really rate him. I've watched him a few times. I think he's really good. He's young, and he plays. But before he was playing second fiddle to Jofra Archer, but now I reckon he's one of their top bowlers. I really rate him.
Would he be in your starting side then?
There's a good possibility, but I feel like my starting side would very much depend on the pitch that you're playing on.
Yeah. My first three, I've gone for a little bit out there. I've gone for Gulbuddin Naib from Afghanistan.
Okay, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I really rate him. He has probably, I'm going to mention it now, probably the best slower ball out of anyone that I've seen. His slower ball comes down at 59 miles an hour, and he's normally bowling at 85.
The problem is that's too slow. What you want from a slower ball is it's just slow enough that they're going to put it in the air. When you can, if it's that slow, I mean, for their quality, they can just wait, and then, I mean, Andre Russell's hitting that.
Finn, you'd be surprised about how many wickets he took with that slower ball. I think the most notable one, who was it? Well, I know he got Morgan out, and then he got Stokes out. He bowled Stokes round his legs.
Okay, yes.
And he got Morgan out when he was on 148.
Yeah,
and I would argue, because I know Rashid Khan didn't have a really good World Cup, I thought he was Afghanistan's best bowler.
Okay.
Until the game against Pakistan, where he sort of lost the plot a little bit, where the game that they should have won, and he didn't bowl how he should at the death. I think he's fantastic. I rate Gulbuddin quite a lot.
Yeah, no, I rate him as well.
I think he's good. And, the celebration as well. I rate the celebrations. The one where he just like flexes his arms. It's quite funny.
Oh, I've got a real celebration coming up next.
So who's your final free, no reserve price player?
I've gone for Case Ahmed. I mean, partially just that celebration is unbelievable. His backflip, I think it is. I love that.
We'll have to put a clip of that in.
Yeah.
To continue. That is something very special, and that is even more special.
But I mean, he's got really good variations for a spin bowler. He bowls a good bouncer as well, which is actually surprisingly effective. And yeah, he's just got good variations. He took lots and lots of wickets. Again for the Hobart Hurricanes, so another one for me from them. Yeah.
Nice. And my last pick is I don't know. I just saw his name on the list and I couldn't not put him in. I've got Marnus Labuschagne. I couldn't not put him in the side.
Just pick him as one of your leggies.
He's a leggy. He's also my dressing room player. Just keep people entertained in the rain breaks because we're English. There'll definitely be rain breaks. I was tempted to also put Mitchell Marsh in as the equivalent of that, but he was a bit more expensive. Yeah. So I've got Marnus. I think if Kane Williamson gets injured, he'll play my anchor role.
Yeah.
He's really good backup. I think he's great. Obviously, he's more suited to Test match conditions. He's playing one-day cricket at the moment. He's playing the Joe Root, the Kane Williamson, the Steve Smith sort of role, along with Steve Smith, because Australia like to have a 3 and 4 like that. Just take a low crosser to run a ball. But I think he's good. I rate him.
Yeah, I agree.
So now it's time for covered drives of the week. Finn, we want 2 players from your draft with their covered drives.
2 players from my team. I'm going to go for Quinton de Kock.
Oh, that's just beautiful.
And I'm not sure I've got another. Maybe. Okay, we'll go Aaron Finch.
Smashed, absolutely smoked.
And for my cover drive, I think you'd be crazy not to have Kane Williamson's in there.
Threads it through, and that is pure class from Kane Williamson.
Yes. That's a great pick.
Because we've already had Barbar, so our second one's got to be Kane Williamson.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I think we're going to round up the podcast there. I hope you have enjoyed episode 5 of the Fine Leg to Fine Leg podcast, and we'll see you in the midweek.